Hey friends, welcome to your reading. Today's reading is all about how you will make your first or next large paycheck. Have you ever wondered exactly how that big payday will show up for you? Whether it's through a new client, a surprise sale, or something completely unexpected. Today we're going to dive into the exact energy and opportunities surrounding your first or next large paycheck. So you'll know where to focus your energy and you'll be ready to receive it. Now, I just want to make a quick announcement. I have opened private readings again, so if you would like to book a private reading with me, email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com and I'll send you my menu of services and pricing. Now let's dive into the reading. Okay, if you are new to pick a card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do here is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So we have pile 1 here with Carnelian flower agate. We have pile 2 here with clear quartz. We have pile 3 here with pyrite, and we have pile 4 here with malachite. You can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It is totally up to you. But when you're ready, go to the description of this video, find the timestamp that is linked to your pile, and then you can skip ahead to your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. It is such an honor and a privilege, and I will see you on the inside. Hi pile 1, hey friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's talk about the source of the paycheck. We'll talk about whether it comes through a career path, a project, an opportunity, an unexpected event. Let's set the scene. So we have the 6 of Swords here, and this can represent you transitioning into calmer waters. It can talk about moving away from difficult times. It also talks about getting guidance from an unseen helper, or a relocation or a shift in your environment. So maybe for some of you, you will be relocating in terms of your job, or maybe some of you here will start to do remote work, right? Like maybe you're moving into a new city or you're shifting into a remote role after a difficult period in your career. And maybe the new position comes with a hefty sign-on bonus or a relocation stipend. Or maybe for some of you here, this looks like leaving a draining client or a job, right? Maybe you want to say no to work that has underpaid you, and that opens the door to some sort of unexpected offer from someone who's been quietly watching your work, right? Or maybe for some of you here, you are moving your business into a new niche. Like if you're an entrepreneur, maybe this is a decision to rebrand or to specialize, right? Like maybe for some of you here, if you're a photographer, you shift from weddings to brand photo shoots, right? And that attracts higher ticket clients, or whatever it looks like, maybe vice versa. I just feel like with the 6 of Swords here, this can often point to getting help from like a ferryman, right? Like somebody who uses their connections to get you into a new, better paying situation that you couldn't have reached alone. We also have Ring Around the Moon. This one says protection. So with this, I feel like there's a buffer around you. I feel like it's something that's keeping your finances safe from major loss while this transition happens, right? So maybe for some of you here, you're protected by a clause or a contract. Like maybe you have some sort of payout or severance or insurance claim that cushions you until that next big paycheck arrives. Like maybe for some of you at work, somebody experienced steps in to make sure that you're paid fairly, right? Maybe even negotiating on your behalf. I feel like this could also be like an unexpected lifeline, right? Like a friend offering a free space to work from, or a family member helping with childcare so that you can focus on opportunity, right? I just feel like this suggests that you might be in some sort of unfamiliar waters right now, but there's this energetic safeguard that's ensuring that you don't sink, right? Even if you can't see it yet. So pile 1, picture yourself leaving a place that's been weighing on you. Maybe this is a job, a location, or even a client base. And picture yourself stepping into something new, because I feel like there's a person or a force guiding you there. So make sure that you don't just survive the change, but step right into the kind of work that leads to this or that next big paycheck. So next I want to talk about the action that you took to secure this paycheck. Was it any sort of inspired actions? Was it through networking, skill application? Did you take any risks? Let's talk about this turning point. So we have the Page of Wands in reverse here, and with this, it talks about untapped potential. It can talk about needing to refine your ideas before acting. And it can also talk about redirecting your energy after fall starts. So maybe for some of you here, you're going to go back to the drawing board in some way, right? Like you're going to realize that your original pitch or your product wasn't quite ready. So you refine it and suddenly it lands with the right person. Or maybe this is you learning from past failures, right? Like maybe your first few launches flopped, but instead of giving up, you tweak your offer based on feedback and then it sells out. Right? Or maybe you're turning impulsive energy into strategy. Instead of jumping on every shiny object opportunity, you focus on one big aligned project and it finally pays off. And sometimes the Page of Wands reverse shows this fear of starting because maybe you're worried that you're not ready, right? So maybe this paycheck might come in the moment that you push past this hesitation is what I'm feeling. We also have Brigid Creation. So this represents sacred creativity, really bringing ideas into form and turning your inspiration into something tangible. So maybe this is you making something from scratch, right? Designing a product or writing a program or crafting a course that becomes your big seller, right? Or maybe this is you using your hands or your artistic skills, right? Artwork, jewelry, crafts, or maybe even digital design that finally reaches a buyer willing to pay premium prices, right? Or maybe this is you creating a signature offer. Maybe if you're a service provider, this could be packaging your skills into one irresistible high-ticket offer. Because Brigid adds the theme of sacred timing, so you're not just making something, but you're actually birthing it at exactly the right moment for it to succeed. So pile one, this is your movie moment, right? Maybe you've got an idea that you've been playing with, but maybe you've been hesitant to fully commit. The second that you decide to refine it and give it your whole energy, the path to that big paycheck opens. So let's talk about the delivery and timing. We'll talk about how and when the money will arrive. We have the Five of Swords here. This talks about a win that comes after competition or conflict or having to stand your ground. So maybe this looks like some of you here winning a bid or a contract, right? Like maybe you may have to outshine others or defend your worth to get it, but the payout makes it worth it. Or maybe for some of you here, you leave a tense work situation with a payout. Maybe this could be a severance or a settlement or a buyout from a business partner, right? Maybe this is you negotiating hard for better pay. Maybe this is you pushing back on an offer and securing a higher rate than was originally offered to you. I just feel like the money may come in the wake of a situation where you feel like, maybe you feel like you've burned a bridge, right? But maybe you didn't, right? Maybe that bridge was blocking your abundance anyway. We also have Sonia Delone, and this says, don't live to 94 without founding an art movement. The practical should also be art, and does your geometry lack poetry? So this is all about bold expression. It's all about creative risk-taking, and it's about integrating your art with commerce. So I wonder if this is you getting paid for your unique style. Maybe someone finally invests in your work because it's different, not because it's safe. Or maybe for some of you here, this is you blending passions into one offer, right? Combining two skills like design and teaching to create a niche product that people will pay more for, right? Or maybe this is you saying yes to a project that scares you, really stretching beyond your comfort zone and getting paid handsomely for it. Because I feel like Sonia's energy says that the paycheck arrives when you let your creativity be unapologetically visible. Right, pile one? Because the money doesn't just fall in your lap. I feel like you actually claim it by standing up for your worth and showing the world exactly what makes your work different. And the result here is a payout that's worth the effort. So next, let's talk about the ripple effect. We'll talk about any sort of lifestyle changes, investments, maybe opportunities opened or confidence gained through this. So we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse here, and this talks about shifting the balance of giving and receiving, right? It can talk about setting boundaries around your generosity, and it can also talk about keeping more of what you earn. So I feel like this is you breaking the undercharging cycle, right? You stop giving discounts or free extras and you start valuing your time and your skills. Maybe this is you paying off debt instead of lending to others. Or maybe this is you using your money to secure your own future first, right? Maybe this is you investing in yourself instead of bailing others out, really putting your earnings into courses and tools and experiences that will make you money more long-term. I feel like this can also mean quiet wealth building, right? Not announcing every single win so that you can grow in peace. We also have energy, power, aura, and depletion. So this represents you protecting your personal energy, really using your charisma and your presence strategically, and you avoiding burnout. So maybe this is you working with fewer but higher paying jobs or clients, right? Really keeping your schedule lighter for maintaining your income while maintaining your income. Maybe this is you being selective with opportunities, right? Only saying yes to projects that energize you, right? Again, I think this is you strengthening your boundaries, recognizing that money flows better when your energy isn't constantly drained. Because pile 1, this isn't just about money, but it's about energetic sustainability. So I feel like this paycheck isn't just a one-time win, but it changes how you handle money and your time. I feel like this is you stopping the cycle of overgiving and you starting to keep more of what you make and protect your energy like it's the true currency that it is. Right? Okay, so let's get some, we'll get some tea leaf fortune cards. Let's get any other bits of information that pile 1 needs to know for their highest and best good. Did my candle just go out? Okay, we have moon, changes in your life. Whoa. We also have chain of events that will affect your life. Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Apple, temptation will test you. Announcement, bell. Tulip, great passion. I love that we have the great passion card over the Sonia Delone creativity, being bold with your creative expression card. It's a nice confirmation. We also have stork, news of a birth or a new business opportunity. And then we have dolphin, financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. Okay, perfect. So looking at all of this, definitely looks like you're on the precipice of some major change in your life, right? Maybe you'll have an important announcement to make. Remember, follow your creativity, follow what lights you up. I think that everything that you're going through right now, like the journey that you're on, is part of a chain of events that will affect your life, right? And I feel like in a positive way. I feel like with this apple here, temptation will test you. I feel like sometimes when we're on the brink of change, when we're on the horizon of a new start, sometimes it's tempting to like look back into the past or be like, well, maybe it wasn't so bad, or maybe I should just deal with it. And it's like, no, don't let temptation test you. You will successfully overcome a problem. I think that this is really exciting that you have a news of a birth or a new business opportunity and you're on your way to getting some sort of financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. So all good news. You're on the way into abundance and success, pile 1. Thank you so much, friend. Just know that your energy is lining up for abundance, and I'm so excited to see how your story unfolds. Comment below with what pile you chose or what came up for you during the reading. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tidal Tarot if you want more intuitive guidance like this. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com and I will send you my menu of services and pricing. And if you feel like exploring my online shop for pretty crystals to support your shift, or checking out my podcast, I have it all linked for you in the description. Until next time, keep dreaming big and keep taking aligned action. Your future self is already cheering you on, pile 2. Pile 1, I'm sending you so much love, Tidal fam, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hey, pile 2. Hey, friends. I am so excited to dive into your reading. Let's first talk about the source of your paycheck. We'll talk about the career path, the project, the opportunity, or the unexpected event that will bring you your next paycheck. Let's set the scene. So we have the 8 of Swords in reverse here, and this talks about breaking free from a limiting situation, right? This is finally seeing a way forward. It can also talk about releasing restrictions that are self-imposed. So for example, maybe some of you here are breaking free from an underpaying job and you're finally applying for roles that you thought that you weren't qualified for, right? So maybe you land one with a much bigger salary, or maybe some of you here are launching a long delayed project, right? Like maybe you've been holding yourself back thinking that you weren't ready, but you finally put it out there and it earns immediately. Maybe some of you here are overcoming the fear of visibility, right? Like maybe you're posting your work online and you're speaking up in a meeting or you're pitching a client that you were intimidated by, which leads you to the next big payout. Right? So when the 8 of Swords is in reverse here, it can talk about unbinding yourself from a belief system, right? You're realizing that the limits weren't real and maybe they were just stories that you'd accepted. And don't be hard on yourself if this is the case, because I know exactly how that feels. And it's almost like, I feel like I call it like defrosting. You kind of like defrost to your own truth, or you defrost to the person that you always were on the inside, right? Because sometimes when we're raised in certain families or in certain bits, in certain parts of society, we get a lot of conditioning, right? And so I think that this is about you kind of just navigating your way back home to yourself. Now we also have Yin Moon, accept help. And so this represents you softening into receiving and really allowing other people to assist you, right? Like letting support be a part of your success. So maybe this is you letting someone mentor you. Or maybe this is you accepting guidance from an experienced person who opens doors to higher paying opportunities, right? Or maybe this is you delegating to grow, right? Like hiring help in your business, like virtual assistant or a designer, so that you can focus on income producing tasks, right? Or maybe this is you receiving an offer that you didn't even seek out, right? And you say yes when someone approaches you with a collaboration or a job rather than you chasing it. So maybe your paycheck could come through a soft touch approach rather than like this hustle method, if you know what I mean. So letting others see you and offer you help is going to be the key here instead of doing it all alone. So I just feel like your next big paycheck is born the moment that you stop thinking that you have to figure it all out on your own. And it's by releasing old fears and saying yes to help, whether this is advice or resources or connections. This is you putting yourself in the exact place where opportunity finds you. So next I want to talk about the action that you took to secure it. We'll talk about any sort of inspired actions that you took. Was it networking? What kind of skills did you have to apply? Did you take any risks? Let's talk about the turning point here. So we have justice here, and this talks about fairness. It talks about contracts, cause and effect. It can talk about you speaking your truth. And it can also talk about things like legal or official matters. So maybe, for example, this is you negotiating a contract in your favor, right? Asking for better pay, asking for benefits, or asking for the terms that you want and actually getting them, right? Or maybe this represents you winning a case or a settlement, right? Maybe this paycheck is tied to legal proceedings or intellectual property rights or royalties. I also feel like you could become the go-to for something, right? Maybe you're earning because you're trusted to deliver something with integrity. Because the justice card is about alignment, right? So your actions match your values, and I feel like people pay you because they trust you and they trust that consistency that you bring to the table. Now we also have solar cycle 1. This one says purpose. It looks like there's some sort of new opportunity or new door that's about to open, and it is a path for you walking into enlightenment or your purpose, right? This is you having like a clarity of what your mission is in life, really starting fresh and aligning your work with your true calling. So maybe this looks like you launching a new chapter of your career, right? Like the first cycle of a new business or role or creative endeavor that's deeply aligned. Maybe this is you saying no to misaligned work and really freeing up space for high-paying opportunities that fit your skills and your purpose. Maybe this is you creating with full intentionality, really putting your energy into a single purpose-driven project instead of scattering it, right? Maybe this cycle starts at day 1, right? Like you might be at the very beginning of a path that will lead you to some sort of sustainable, repeating, large paycheck, right? So I feel like this is when you step into your role with full clarity and integrity. Because pile 2, you are not just working for money, you're working in alignment with your values. And when your actions match your purpose, the right people are going to be willing to pay for it. So next, let's talk about the delivery and timing. We'll talk about how and when the money will arrive. So we have the Hermit in reverse here. This talks about coming out of isolation. It can talk about sharing your wisdom and really re-entering the public sphere after a private period. So maybe this is you returning after you took a break from your career, right? Like maybe you're coming back to work after a time off, like you took parental leave or a sabbatical or recovery of some sort, and you landed a well-paying role. Maybe you're going public with something that you've been developing in secret, right? Like you're launching a product that you've quietly built over months. Or maybe for some of you here, maybe you're joining a collaborative project where you're partnering with others after a long period of solo work. Right? So I feel like maybe the timing is going to align with you ending a season of self-reflection and really stepping into visibility. We also have Gustave Courbet, and this one says, fight the power, paint the powerless, show what you see, not what you saw, and may your art help finance your legal fees. That's so interesting that we're talking about like earlier, like maybe this is like due to legal things or like court proceedings or like this and that, and also with like justice here too, that can talk about contracts, legal matters, things like that. But this can also just talk about like bold realism, right? Confronting the truth, maybe creating art or work that reflects reality without sugarcoating things. So maybe this looks like you, again, telling the raw truth, speaking honestly about your experiences, which builds trust and leads to offers. Or maybe this looks like you creating work with grit, right? Like products or services that solve real problems directly instead of selling a fantasy. Maybe this is you leaning into your unique perspective, right? Your difference becomes your selling point here, maybe. Because I feel like Corbet's influence here means that your paycheck arrives when you embrace realness over perfection, right? So the moment that you step out of the shadows and you let people see your unfiltered, authentic self, right? Like your expertise, your story, and your work, I feel like the opportunity and the paycheck are going to meet you halfway. So next I want to talk about the ripple effect that this all has, right? Let's talk about lifestyle changes, investments, opportunities that are open for you, and any sort of confidence that might be gained through this. So I love that we have the King of Swords here, because this is all about strategic thinking. It's about mastery, it's about clear communication, and it's about becoming an authority. So maybe for some of you here, you position yourself as an expert, right? And your credibility attracts higher paying, ongoing work. Maybe some of you here are going to be making smart financial decisions, right? Investing your money wisely instead of spending it impulsively, or leading others in some way, right? Like using your position to mentor or teach or manage in a way that continues to pay off for you. Because I feel like this paycheck is going to give you the confidence to operate with logic and precision in money matters, right? There's like the energy of no more guessing here. We also have the red rose here, and it says, overcoming obstacles, finding joy, and carefree. Don't worry, darling, you'll find your way. I love that we have a rose here. I'm recording this on Venus Day, which is Aphrodite's day, on a Friday, and so I love all these synchronicities here. I feel like this represents you having joy after experienced challenges, or having this renewed zest for life, or also you having the freedom to enjoy what you've earned. So maybe some of you here are going to be taking a celebratory trip or experience, right? Something that marks a turning point in your lifestyle. Maybe some of you here are going to be upgrading your daily comfort, right? So investing in small luxuries that bring you ongoing joy. Or maybe some of you here are going to be feeling lighter emotionally, right? Less financial stress means more energy for you to do what you love. I keep hearing like curating a home. Maybe some of you here are going to be curating your home and really creating this soft, cozy, beautiful space for like you and your loved ones. You know, I just keep hearing that. But yeah, I really do feel like this isn't just a financial shift for you, pile 2. I feel like it's an emotional and a mental lift that really changes how you approach life. So again, I feel like this paycheck doesn't just solve a money problem, but it solidifies you as the strategist of your own life, right? You're not guessing anymore. You're making moves with clarity, and you finally have the breathing room to enjoy the rewards. So next I want to roll some astro dice here. My little baby lost one of them, so we're just going to rock with 2. We'll still get some great answers. What else does pile 2 need to know about their next or first big paycheck? Okay, so we have moon in the 3rd house here. Okay, so with the moon in the 3rd house here for your first or next big paycheck, I feel like this is pointing to money that's tied to like communication, networking, things like short-term projects, and local connections. I feel like this suggests that you're going to have some quick-moving, emotionally engaging work that might come through someone that you know, or maybe like a word-of-mouth referral. So some possible paycheck sources that I'm feeling with this is like you receiving payment for writing or blogging or podcasting, or maybe even content creation. Some of you here might be getting income from teaching, coaching, maybe tutoring, especially as it has to do with your neighborhood or maybe online groups. I also feel like maybe for some of you here, you're going to be having freelance gigs found through a friend or a sibling or local contact, right? I also feel like maybe this is you having like short-term contracts for marketing or social media or some sort of like community outreach. I also feel like for some of you here, you could be getting commissions from sales, real estate, you know, or events that you promote locally. So it's usually not a long drawn out build. I feel like it tends to come suddenly after a conversation or meeting or a piece of news, right? So yes, I really do hope that this was all super helpful, pile 2. Thank you so much, friend. Just know that your energy is lining up for abundance, and I'm so excited to see how your story unfolds. Comment below with what pile you chose and what came up for you during the reading. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tidal Tarot if you want more intuitive guidance like this. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com and I'll send you my menu of services and pricing. If you feel like exploring my online shop for pretty crystals to support your shift, or if you feel like checking out my podcast, I have it all linked for you in the description. Until next time, keep dreaming big, pile 2, keep taking aligned action, and remember that your future self is already cheering you on. I'm sending you so much love, Tidal fam. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye friends, love y'all. Hey pile 3, hey friends, welcome to your reading. I am so excited to dive in. Let's talk about the source of your next paycheck. We'll talk about whether it comes through a career path, maybe a project, an opportunity, or an unexpected event. Let's set the scene here. So we have the Two of Wands here, and this talks about strategic planning. It can talk about expanding your horizons and making a choice that changes your trajectory in some way. So maybe this looks like you scouting a new market or audience. Maybe this is you expanding your business to serve a bigger, more lucrative group of clients. Maybe for some of you here, you're going to be accepting an international or a remote opportunity where you'll take a role that connects you to global income streams. Or maybe for some of you here, you're going to be pivoting your niche, right? Choosing between two viable paths and picking the one with the bigger growth potential for you. Because I feel like this card comes up often when you already have something working, and so I feel like the big paycheck is going to come from taking it further rather than starting from scratch. We also have Moonflower, take a risk. So this is all about you stepping into the unknown. This is all about you embracing uncertainty and betting on yourself. So maybe this is you investing in your own idea, right? Spending the money up front on materials or ads or training and seeing it pay off. Maybe this looks like you leaving a safe job, right? Maybe you transition to freelance or commission-based work or a startup with high earning potential, right? Or maybe you have some sort of opportunity that requires you to move somewhere, right? Like relocating or traveling for work that pays you significantly more. Because I feel like with this, the Moonflower is something that blooms at night. And so maybe your next big paycheck comes from a decision that other people might see as risky or unconventional. I just feel like this paycheck story starts with you looking at two roads and choosing the one that feels a little scary, but the one that's lit by possibility and not necessarily like certainty, right? So I feel like with this, you're not waiting for someone to hand you permission. You're planning, you're taking the leap, and you're trusting that your preparation will carry you. Next, I want to talk about the action that you took to secure it. What sort of inspired actions did you take? Did you do any networking? What skills did you apply? Did you take any risks? Let's talk about the turning point here. So we have the King of Pentacles here, and this represents you having mastery over your money. This is you building wealth strategically, and this is also about you stepping into leadership. So I really feel like this is you taking control of your finances, really creating a solid plan. I also feel like maybe for some of you here, this is you positioning yourself as an industry leader. Maybe people will pay more because you've proven authority and consistency, right? So maybe this is you investing in long-term growth, right? Buying equipment or property or stock that multiplies your returns. I feel like this could also mean embodying the energy of wealth, right? Like carrying the confidence of someone who earns big money even before it arrives. We also have Solar Cycle 10, reformation. So this is all about an overhaul, restructuring something and replacing outdated systems. So maybe for some of you here, you want to change your pricing model, right? Maybe you move from hourly rates to packages or retainers that pay more. Maybe this looks like you streamlining your work, right? Cutting out services or clients or habits that drain your profit. Or maybe for some of you, this looks like rebranding or relaunching and really refreshing your public image to attract higher quality, better paying opportunities. Maybe this is you having the money that comes after you make some sort of decisive, possibly uncomfortable change that really sets you up for long-term stability. Right? So this is the moment in your movie where you stop playing small pile 3. This is where you restructure, this is where you get strategic, and this is where you present yourself like someone who's worth that high figure, and people will respond to it. So next I want to talk about the delivery and timing of everything. How and when will the money arrive? So we have the Seven of Cups in reverse here, and this talks about getting clarity after being confused. This can also talk about making a definite choice and focusing on one goal instead of scattering your energy. So maybe for some of you here, this is you choosing one offer to pursue, right? Saying no to lesser paying work so that you can say yes to that one big deal. Maybe this is you simplifying your business model, right? Like dropping extra projects to double down on your most profitable one. Or maybe this is you getting clear on your value, right? You no longer chasing opportunities that don't match your worth. I feel like the big paycheck lands when you stop overthinking and when you commit to one path fully. We also have Tracy Emin. This one says, don't hide your dirty sheets in the washer. Concentrate on finding, not on losing yourself in your art. Decay can be fertilizer for new ideas. So this artist to me represents radical honesty. She represents raw self-expression, really embracing vulnerability in your work. I feel like this is you sharing your authentic story, right? This vulnerability will connect you to the exact audience or client that's willing to pay well. Maybe this is you making work that's unapologetically you, like your uniqueness becomes your selling point. I feel like this is you refusing to dilute your style, really standing by your vision instead of trying to please everyone. Because I feel like Tracy Emin's influence means that the paycheck arrives after you shed the pressure to conform and when you fully own your voice, right? So the moment that you stop chasing every option and you commit to the one thing that's truly yours, that's when the confusion will lift. And that's when the opportunity shows up with a paycheck that reflects your clarity. So next I want to talk about the ripple effect. Let's talk about the lifestyle changes, any sort of investments or opportunities that have opened for you, and the confidence gained through all of this. So we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse here, and this can talk about turning inward, it can talk about focusing on self-care, and it can also talk about avoiding overgiving to others at your own expense. So maybe this looks like you setting boundaries around money, keeping more for your own growth instead of constantly helping others financially. Or maybe this is you investing in your personal well-being, right? Like using part of the paycheck for rest or health or home upgrades that really do support you long-term. Like I just saw a gal who has like a Pilates machine in her garage, and like every morning she wakes up before her like 3 kiddos wake up, and she kisses her husband goodbye when he goes out to work, and then she just hits the Pilates machines, and then before her kids wake up she's got her workout in. And I'm like, I need a Pilates machine in my garage as well. So maybe this looks like you investing in something that's going to like contribute to your health and wellness. I also feel like this could look like you letting go of being like the perfect homemaker, right? Like having that pressure and really freeing time and energy for work and personal joy. I know this for sure. Like I have oscillated back and forth between being stay-at-home mom to work from home mom. And I just feel like I've felt that pressure too, to be like a perfect homemaker, to be the perfect stay-at-home mom. I'd feel guilty if I started working on my own creative passions or projects. But then I started to realize that like I'm still me, like beyond being a mom. I'm still the person who was creative. I'm still the person who is inspired and wants to intuit things and work with, you know, divination tools and share empowering messages with others, because that's what I feel called to do, right? So maybe that story will help somebody out there. I'm not sure who needed to hear that, but I just feel like this paycheck that's going to come in is going to help you shift from caretaker mode to self-prioritization mode, which is great. We also have blessings and curses, psyche, self-love, and beauty. So this is all about you recognizing your own worth. This is about you reframing flaws as strengths, and this is about you using beauty in all forms as empowerment. So I feel like this is you gaining the confidence to be more visible, really feeling comfortable putting yourself or your work out there without hiding. I also feel like this could be you releasing old money wounds, really shifting from seeing money as a stressor to viewing it as a tool for self-love. I also feel like this could be you curating your environment for inspiration, right? Like really surrounding yourself with things that remind you that you're worth abundance. Because I feel like the curse is old self-doubt, and the blessing, right, is the clarity and the self-worth that you gain from proving to yourself that you can earn big, right? Because this paycheck will change your relationship with money and yourself. I feel like it's going to be a big one, especially with the King of Pentacles here. And I feel like this is you finally being able to like stop pouring from an empty cup and really investing in what makes you feel good, so that you can step into a future where earning big is just a part of who you are. So that's all super exciting. Let's roll our astro dice to get more information about your first or next big paycheck. This is Jupiter. So we have Jupiter in the 8th house here, and with Jupiter in the 8th house, I feel like your next or first big paycheck is going to be tied to other people's money, resources, or shared ventures, not just your solo effort. So I feel like you could get large sums through partnerships, joint projects, collaborations. Maybe you could expect bonuses, commissions, or profit sharing from investments of time or money. I keep hearing like windfalls, inheritances, settlements, or even tax refunds, grants even. I keep hearing also like lucrative opportunities from other people's trust in you. So for example, maybe some of you here are going to be getting a big commission from co-listing a real estate property or closing a joint deal. Maybe for some of you, you're going to be getting a payment from a creative project that's funded by a patron or a client or a sponsor. Maybe for some of you here, you're going to get a lump sum from some sort of collaborative course launch or like YouTube ad revenue spike or some sort of co-created product. And I'm also feeling like for some of you here, maybe you could be getting like a settlement or an unexpected payout from an old agreement or some sort of investment that's maturing. So super exciting, friends. Thank you so much. Just know that your energy is lining up for abundance, and I'm so excited to see how your story unfolds. Comment below with what pile you chose and what came up for you during the reading. I love to chat with you all in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tidal Tarot if you want more intuitive guidance like this. If you want to book a private reading with me, email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com and I will send you my menu of services and pricing. And if you feel called to explore my online shop for pretty crystals to support your shift, or if you feel like checking out my podcast, I have it all linked for you in the description. Until next time, keep dreaming big and keep taking aligned action. Your future self is already cheering you on, my friends. I'm sending you so much love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. I appreciate you. Love you, friends. Bye. Hi, pile 4. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's dive in. We'll talk about the source of the paycheck, whether it comes through a career path, a project, an opportunity, or an unexpected event. Let's set the scene. So we have the Queen of Swords in reverse here, and this talks about breaking free from overly rigid thinking. It can talk about letting go of like self-censorship and really reclaiming your voice after being silenced or misunderstood. So maybe this looks like you leaving a toxic work environment, and maybe the paycheck comes after you cut ties with a boss or a client who undervalued you. Maybe this looks like some of you here dropping perfectionism and really putting your work out, even if it's not a flawless thing and you still are rewarded for it, right? Or maybe for some of you here, this is you telling the truth in your marketing or in your story and having a more raw and polished message that resonates more than a calculated one, right? So maybe the big paycheck appears once you stop editing yourself, especially for like approval and things like that, and you start making decisions based on your own truth. We also have shadow work here, and this is all about facing your fears. It's about integrating the hidden parts of yourself and transmuting pain into purpose. So maybe for some of you here, you turn your personal struggles into a profitable skill or an offer. For example, maybe you're a life coach who monetizes your own healing journey, right? Or maybe for some of you here, you want to create art or content from vulnerability and people deeply connect with you or want to pay for your authenticity. Maybe this looks like some of you here breaking generational money patterns and healing scarcity mindset and then seeing a tangible shift in earnings. Maybe this looks like some of you having your paycheck directly tied to you embracing a part of yourself that you once thought was unmarketable, right? Because this story starts when you start cutting the chains of other people's expectations and when you start stepping into the parts of yourself that you've kept quiet. Because I feel like the money is going to be born out of truth-telling, shadow work, and the courage to be fully you. Next, I want to talk about the action that you took to secure this. Did you take any sort of inspired actions? Did you network? Did you apply any sort of skills? Did you take a risk? Let's talk about the turning point here. So we have the 10 of Cups in reverse here, and this talks about rewriting your definition of success. It can talk about stepping away from an ideal that wasn't truly yours. So maybe for some of you here, this looks like you changing your career path despite your family's expectations, right? Like pursuing work that really fulfills you and not just what looks good on paper. Maybe this is you choosing your independence over traditional stability, right? Like maybe you start your own venture or you take a chance on yourself instead of waiting for the perfect corporate role. Or maybe for some of you here, this looks like you declining offers that look safe, but pay less, right? And maybe this makes space for a bigger paycheck that aligns with your vision. Because I feel like sometimes choosing temporary discomfort over long-term compromise can lead you to a higher paycheck that comes from your bold choice. We also have Hathor. This one says joy. So this is all about you creating through pleasure and really building success from what lights you up rather than from what drains you. So again, I feel like some of you here are going to be turning a passion into an income. Maybe this is baking or photography or music or any sort of creative pursuit that you love and adore. Maybe this becomes a serious moneymaker. Maybe this is you shifting your branding to reflect fun and authenticity, right? Like clients are drawn to the joy in your work. Maybe this is you choosing ease over struggle, right? Like charging more but working less, and really trusting that joy is going to be the magnet for your abundance. Maybe this is you having your turning point come when you stop hustling purely out of fear and you start acting from love and joy. Because this is the moment in your journey where you walk away from the picture perfect life that doesn't actually make you happy, and this is where you start building wealth from what truly does. So next, let's talk about the delivery and timing of everything. We'll talk about how and when the money will arrive. So we have the Chariot here, and this talks about momentum, victory, really channeling willpower and having this breakthrough after focused effort. So maybe for some of you, this looks like landing a high-paying contract after an intense push. Or maybe your paycheck drops shortly after a big launch or a pitch or an event. Maybe for some of you here, this looks like getting paid for speed and skill, right? Like a fast turnaround project that others couldn't manage brings in more money. Maybe this is you seizing an opportunity while others hesitate, right? Like acting quickly actually ends up securing you the win. Because I feel like money could come in a short, intense burst of work and not necessarily like a drawn out process. We have Vasily Kandinsky. This one says, transcend systems to find spirit, hear music through sight, and begin with a dot. So this is all about bold innovation. It's all about creative risk-taking and moving beyond tradition. So for example, maybe for some of you here, you introduce a totally new style or product or offer that sets you apart in your industry. Maybe for some of you, this looks like making art or work that blends disciplines, right? Like mixing tech and design in a way that's fresh and valuable. Or maybe this looks like you being the first to do something in your niche, right? Kind of having that first mover advantage that brings you high rewards. So maybe the delivery happens when you combine discipline, right? The Chariot, with creative freedom. Once you've aligned with your true vision, pile 4, you can gain unstoppable momentum, and I feel like this paycheck arrives in the form of a win that you either fought for or you claimed as your own. Next, let's talk about the ripple effect all of this has. We'll talk about the lifestyle changes, any sort of investments or opportunities that have opened for you, and any sort of confidence that may have been gained through this process. So we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse here, and this talks about letting go of scarcity. It can talk about spending and investing freely, and it can also talk about being open to new experiences. So maybe for some of you here, you finally spend on something that you've been denying yourself of, right? Like a trip or a home upgrade or some sort of personal growth investment. Maybe for some of you here, this looks like releasing tight control, right? Like delegating or outsourcing so that your energy is freed up for higher value work. Maybe this looks like you taking calculated risks with your money, like in stocks or real estate or in expanding your business. Maybe this is about shifting from hoarding and fear into flow and trust with money. We also have the Moon. This one says duality, hidden gem, and secret power. What if your strangeness is actually your brilliance? So I feel like this is all about you discovering hidden talents, really embracing your complexity, and using your intuition as a business asset. I feel like this could be you finding a skill that you didn't know that you had and monetizing it. Or maybe for some of you here, this is leaning into your multifaceted identity, right? Like your unique blend of experiences makes you stand out. Maybe this is you trusting your intuition with money moves, right? Like that gut decision leads you to the next big win. I feel like the Moon's duality here says that like the paycheck doesn't just grow your bank account, but it transforms how you see your own magic. So I feel like this money doesn't just free you financially, but it frees you mentally, right? Like you stop gripping so tightly and you start trusting the flow and you discover hidden strengths that you didn't even know that you had. Let's roll some astro dice to get more info on your next large paycheck or your first large paycheck. So we have Uranus in the 3rd house here. So with Uranus in the 3rd house here, I feel like your first or next big paycheck is likely to come in some sort of sudden, unexpected, and unconventional way, connected to things like communication, technology, maybe even short-term projects or your network. So I feel like this could come in as fast and surprising, right? Like not a slow build, but more of like a burst like we spoke about earlier with the Chariot. I feel like it could come from an unusual source, right? Like it might not be from your main job. I also feel like it has something to do with mental agility. So like ideas, writing, teaching, and anything as it has to do with being tech savvy. And I also feel like it has something to do with like a networking spark. So whether this is like a conversation or an email or an online connection, I feel like this is what triggers it all. So for example, maybe you have a video that goes viral or a blog post or a social media campaign that lands you sponsorship money. Or maybe some of you here have a short freelance gig in marketing or design or writing that pays a lump sum. Maybe this is you having a side hustle from an online course or webinar or ebook that suddenly sells big. Maybe this is a local collaboration or a quick turnaround project that brings a surprising bonus in for you. I just feel like some of you here are going to get paid for sharing your knowledge, whether this is through speaking or training or consulting. So thank you so much, friend. I really appreciate your time here. Just know that your energy is lining up for abundance, and I'm so excited to see how your story unfolds. Comment below with what pile you chose or what came up for you during the reading. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tidal Tarot if you want more intuitive guidance like this. If you want to book a private reading with me, email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com and I will send you my menu of services and pricing. And if you feel like exploring my online shop for pretty crystals to support your shift or checking out my podcast, I have it all linked for you in the description. Until next time, keep dreaming big and keep taking aligned action. Your future self is already cheering you on, friends. Thank you so much, Tidal fam. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all.